Alright, Owusu, you don't be a kwaba, so uncle so abanama one political channel, POG Media, so make sure say afei and our baha, or be like and subscribe and have sweat my share you made I'm a from Sonsa to me, Aka, and please don't forget to click on the notification bell so I'm a brand no and the political update be better channel needs to be and also on sa to me Akana share na fin so asanso atwe wadwene na abusua afei yembom ra yensem nem ne mfa ensem dodo na embrewo eye former communication minister mame afre no Ursula Owusu na chese odi nsem bi ababetu dwa efa eye Chief Justice get to Torkono remove a honsensema ha abusua da ne da ye de ho update bro na mame Ursula Owusu echima oye MPP ni mapanan so wanti asese eye Chief Justice remove a honsensem no NPP gurus bi agye ginam chinchine twan so mon pese maame ne beko na Ghana ha no enye nipa wo appoint wo ene decide who fit achesemamia ensema Ursula Owusu ede atudwa no ensem no ano ede no kan akokan fa eye processor na se yebeka se illegal processor NPP fompo efa so ede pamo Charlotte osei a watwe say even process yi kwa NDC for na mu homo person de remove Chief Justice no legal processor chesensema maame no de atudwa no ensem no ano ede ne eti yatiti ene de nsem no mu twemu abedom ya mepesa video for me akone akwakuti nsem no mu bi na sana ebeko no me sure say wonsem kai bi arbe share the comment section or like share you made no ma for from sonsa into me enkebi medamasi
ya sam no court Supreme Court to say eniema wo mo ka for Charlotte say ho se enu nti wo mo peso wo mo yi na die no asam no wo de toto mra no mu a ene mra de mfa enti ade na Addo Akuffo do peso wo ye no Supreme Court no enhwe na wo mo stop no enya saa or set president bi ato ho a enya de beboa wo mo a ye do wo mo kosa position no because it is assumed say sana nkofo kra ni say yetimi pam wo mo a na akukodura na eba nkofo mo say ntro petition kwaba president no na eni ho over the years say bia obi eye bibia Ghana for the ye ni mo ane say ja ye maame awu na ye nua ye ni say the person so Chief Justice the time so no akọ pension ye ni say the person so Electoral Commissioner the time so akọ pension it is a bibi mposi a ebi a management level and wo ka ne yentia fine maybe they be talking about those things na Addo Akuffo do e de bi enkrata na nu so me ehun say emra no we ya Ghana ni a wutimi komra na nim we ya Ghana na wutimi challenge law no ona bi book no mo ana obi aka book ni bi so Owusu video ni ya ready me ba cho quick one dram ko mo fa to so na fe wutie Ursula Owusu asem wo kan ye a wa kira say o say enye nipa wa point to ana determine wo faith emra no enyam nam kai wo ka wo news file samra no a lawyer for kuku dama no mo NPP mu na no mo defend asem no honorable afanya mark on the same news file he defended it. The reasons why I was a Ghana for Jaiman and Akuffo do ye the Jumo de mrani ye adwuma enti ana de na asesa Smith will waste me time on for extra video don't so ni yanko ya ni time so please don't waste time called already assembly bi wa hono ma enye so obi bo ni tirim keke da aka but uti free ni pana no then you know say enye dede na obi ye wo enti akosua de ye wonye nipa ya mansa na ye nipa meboa Chief Justice wo edipa chen Charlotte say Chief Justice oye obamu a eche Charlotte say meboa ade bi wo ho ne Ghana for ye hwe ni ye o say ya say ye ma mra na ye adwuma say de mra na wo say ye adwuma eye den na afa de bi moda ne PR ade ma the same emra no adan na mo ma ho kwan mo na mo sie o mo na mo kan ye sa time no say adan ne yente asem na President Akuffo do sa mra no onfa mra ne nya adwuma na say emra no ko bubo Charlotte say ya emra no will do it course ana mra no do the course obia ni wa ka cha na Addo Akuffo do say irrespective say no obia ni say ya agenda no o yusu mra no eti mra na mo di defend eti ade na sesai Edia na asesa ena obi ani abre na you be demonstration we hit the street ena street ne dia ho wutime hete mo kan cha na bi street no e so by tre otime hete obi apeso ye demonstration wa hu bia no otime hit street e ma mo si obi akwa for demonstration no right because me kwa be some ye demonstration na wo si me kwa ya me buba fu pa mo fa excellent to me uncle.
It is not the person who appoints you.
Mumma volume, Mumbia Muna will be anti.
Even for those of us, the people you handpick as executives sometimes are the ones who turn against you the most. The important thing is to have, and I'm sure that knowing the president, he would be mindful of the national interest. Was there? It is not the person who appoints you who will determine your fate. Even for those of us at the lower level, the people you handpick as executives sometimes are the ones who turn against you the most. The important thing is to have, and I'm sure that knowing the president, he would be mindful of the national interest in the people he appoints to head these positions. I'm sure that left to him alone, he wouldn't want any cloud to be against his re-election, which is going to happen in 2020 anyway. And to saying for people to even allege that he cleared the EC so that he would put people who would vote for him there. You know, he probably, and I'm sure that this result isn't what he personally would have wished, you know, because he would have wanted some other results to have been the outcome of these investigations, but of the national interest in the people he appoints to head these positions. I'm sure that left to him alone, he wouldn't want any cloud to be against his re-election in 2020 anyway. And to saying for people to even allege that he cleared the EC so that he would put people who would vote for him there. You know, he probably, and I'm sure that this result isn't what he personally would have wished, you know, because he would have wanted some other results to have been the outcome of these investigations. But he's bound to accept what has happened and work with it and implement the recommendations as is. But I have no doubt that he will appoint public-spirited individuals who would act in the best interest of the nation to head this very important constitutional body that we have in the interest of Ghana.
Lawyer Nipa wa being pa or say president is being bound. Just say Emrana Chichiro or you Charlotte issue. President is being bound by the recommendation. No matter the noise you make, the law is the law. The law is the law. And as Owusu say, some man na Akuffo do kuranya ya oh and kabi outcome no be different bi na kan koye to say Ghana for beka say bi opam Charlotte say be ya obetimi win 2024 2020 elections me ba cha no na see ya agenda no obi anim, but the law was the law. The law was the law. Give me go Fredame. Kwakuba akodi asam no kopie mu court no. Samra no na me brai. Ye sha dan fa ne fa akwan bi so nan se nkrofobia corrupt no ma kwakoye. Listen to God Fredame.
I don't agree because, as I indicated, the performance of procurement duties is part of the core duties of the Electoral Commissioner. Indeed, Article 45 plus paragraph F of the Constitution, simply the Electoral Commissioner shall perform such functions as may be prescribed by law. The Procurement Act is one of such laws of Ghana. And therefore, he or she necessarily required to uphold those provisions. And therefore, when he or she falls foul of the provisions of the Act, clearly is a very serious matter which should count an application for raise or hair removal as the case may be. Indeed, it is very important to note that the Procurement Act itself stipulates that a breach of any of the provisions of the Act constitutes an offence. The punishment for such a breach is imprisonment of up to 5 years in prison. So how can one reasonably contend that an act done which can land a person in jail is not good enough to grant a removal from office of that person? I think that the Electoral Commission is a very important institution of state, and the functions imposed on it by the Constitution are also very onerous and has far-reaching implications for all of us as a citizen. And therefore, the Electoral Commissioner, who is the head, or the chairperson who is the head of that entity, ought to really act according to the laws of Ghana. And the Supreme Court is observed. The performance of procurement duties really constitutes much of the core functions of the Electoral Commission. So even going by the plaintiff's own argument, clearly.
And the way Godfrey done me, former Attorney General, no the kwajina mu, chese no defended and the uti asabo kind or say, Nana Akuffo do kra say why are you? Because procurement breaches na ya de to Charlotte so no. Ni papa mo nko betimi akodam be ye mfie num. Na wo de otie ye na we wan kodam ni ya say ya pam na kofi a we nka no so ya asema no so ye huhu no so e wo se o se nti wa hwehwe mra na. Wutimi say president or ne Charlotte say di ni yie because procurement breaches there one nam kura kanya ne mfie num. That was Godfrey Dame. Where Supreme Court ruling wade ebo kwaku ba kwasem no etugu ye enti ade na mo pese mra no be ye adwuma eno na me gye hu amanti ase se na moni abra mo fa asem no work up no ade na mo ma the law is the law no enya adwuma mo ya sa na mama ja ya yenko law school bi kra no na se de mo penti signal bia me hu se law no kra mo ko hye kra na se mo nhwa kra keye because obi a wakosia law na se law na ye adwuma ma law na ho kwan na enya adwuma and since you move we will hit the street and Messi street na so open crowd mama baby abefa street be one kind kwayan so na catch that GP Christian tutorial no so am apostle am bebo ahoban na watimi a hit street ni ye me kwa me be say me hit street na obi si me kwa ye be ha me mo kwa no mo hit street no mo kwa demonstration when they finish the demonstration and come the law is the law.
The dismissal of the Chief Justice. And I have never even used the word Chief Justice because there is nothing justice about that institution. There is nothing. What is the meaning of justice? Peri yo anyhow. In the missing a year, you say, me, yawo me birth certificate.
All right, Abusia nti sem no bi ene ekokoti na achese. Former Minister for Communication, Ursula Owusu, watimi ababe wosen Chief Justice Torkono case na ensema maame no aprugu wona de na ensem no ano eden ya titin so ede to aso na wachese NPP for Paumuntin Sikrum enye demonstration chenchini che omo yede ya maame no kwa na maame ne beko na Abusia NDC communicator ye fe no listowo nana kusi ono nso de nsem etoa so efa same Chief Justice won sensem ha Abusia ensema papa ne so edetoa so no na ensem no ano eden okanya chichi makwanya even Torkono school na ne papa headmaster ho Torkono ekowia ade ewo school mu ha enam so me yi ne papa dia ne papa mu efa ne papa fa mu ahwere ne nkwa chese sama listo wana na kusin so de to aso no abusua na nyefa dia grossem ti ma pesa mbem yakọ na kwakotie ensema NDC communicator listo wa na kusi de to aso
ya wo me organ ha ne ye birth certificate ne birth certificate no se me free India ana me ba Ghana ha ana me nyimuye ana me wo ya I was here trust me free India ana me ba ya ne
ya wo me wa ha
enti ye frame me Rashid Kapon me boa
edi apedo no
edi apedo na Rashid Kapon ya tro nationality Indian ye wi ani abetro ni maami din ni papa din wo si enu ntimi sese me ya Ghana ni ana me nya Ghana ni wey wanu what me akotro say ni maami ni papa twa school fees Torkono ni papa no ye adwuma wo ye friend say Akuffo dia secondary technical okọ wi ade ni pam no wey papa wey ne ba wey krono a obo ya ma ye twia papa yiso ka ma pam ni kwatena fia ene wawu Abraham wawu the friend Abraham Kofi sa Saki ne mano nyina mini momo omu nyina Ruby nom ne Ben nom ne mini momo I know them oh we are see we no obi anti island mu and your connections with the MPP everyone knows. Who doesn't know Torkono is MPP? Who doesn't know?
Oh, who them so MPP?
Why MPP ni? Who cares when MPP ni kwa pono beyaka?
Hey, now some of them mean so MPP.
Why MPP ni papa?
Me so Chief Justice. Ne ye na be man kwa fa ka se bi o MPP.
From the ne ye no, why ye jealous of say why ye party member? or a party member. And who play the role as a women organizer. And to that syndicate now, created here to loot this state, you know. She was part of that syndicate. Judiciary will be any. Just say, a man for an intimate trash here. Oma G, say, okay, criticize Chief Justice, what but mine? Now, would there be sabi a was other or your gas?
Yeah.
No painting, I'm meeting and you know, Omo a certain very primitive mentality. Once you be bought NDC so, and you be and I was here making sure say, yeah, not yet they destroy NDC. Sa adwem fi tantano enu ti na yedi nipa miensa eti akwa akosisi judiciary wa Supreme Court wo no we kona nipa miensa tisisi wo no me sanka me ba be man pani dako me de grade abekwa kodua yam amele no look sadie na si in a democracy ana
David
esi in a military junta who Akuffo do wakum nipa ngoche. In a democracy, you didn't find the need to put their heads at the Supreme Court. It's something that I'm calling on the NDC. To say the insanity, no, say the insanity, no, kwasi assembly, sa judiciary ni muno. Say the insanano. Oh yeah, odim. At some point, law. Why would you want Ecosiamra? Not that so dear Bobra. Now dear Blanco or form almost a bra boy betano. Near Busa say, now one never be a lawyer now, or be a lawyer now, or papa be a lawyer now. Who could interview near Busa the same way now? And maybe Master for Akuffo, Mechina Bosso as a Chief Justice. Say there, one tears here say, a lawyer for the door, so organ Addo, Addo Pacho, Lord Yaboma. Lord Yaboma. And on the Tiwanum now, or Mama, I want my to say, MPP dia. Oko Ghana Bar Association, such stupid association, very useless association. Look at the presidents of the Ghana Bar Association and look at their political inclination. When you're MPP, you don't matter.
Okay.
And to be Biana quite centralized in a certain, you say, yeah, MPP for, where would you pass the MPP lawyer? MPP lawyer be our bone. Onimumra onim judge. Onimumra onim judge. Because obekwa kone judge atena se aka kire say me MPP ni etini ye di asem na ma no. And this lawyer, you have to be an extra sharp, brilliant student to pass. When you my MPP for and the DNDC for omo call law school e Ghana. Mami way one in charge of your friend is Ghana Law Report. Now, I want to be the year Akuffo the dear law report to me. It's an editor or editing newspaper. Now, what the front page about? I need the open editor anymore. I don't know how does that make Akuffo a brilliant lawyer without a certificate. Ni abadi so obey your lawyer Ghana hey. Again na Ghana ha bet me actually say was so a human rights lawyer no. Again the say he was a human rights activist. Who person would destroy a democracy no. Under the cloak of a certain your friend is saying and me Chief Justice and I mean I'm here way. Obana yam pamono.
All right.
What check? Because where Adia Ghana front time focus on. Who did say me? What do me call court after me? Who did you hear? Me nko gyina ho mo bi nka nkyerɛ me say me a Akroma abra me nim say dipa kro no wa wieska. Etu pa ma judgment bi e wo wiase bia ye mfa me nko bua me kumfo. Me ma. Me nyu omu ni.
Okay.
The trust in the judiciary, you know, and only the pivot around which democracy revolves.
Okay.
So me wo susuyepa say that be say be my adwuma bi na bia e sinto bi aba ho obi de makọ court say wo say me ko. Not judge aka asem no
French
na judge ono se me birth certificate et me nkyerɛ sɛ me Ghana ni we nipa. A me nko gyina na ni ma nka me say bre nkyerɛ me. Do you know the sanctity of that institution? They play the God in the lives of the Ghanaian.
Okay.
It is so 18 years from my Lord. But Sanipano, if he becomes your Satan, why do you have to refer to him or her as your Lord? And okay. You media me who say, wait, or my penny my way. Say, and come by and also constitution, no, it be a chapter, and I take away, and now close to say, I trust on my penny, who needs her to me, say, what me, yes, I did, and a why. Mr. will come and say, my penny. I don't know, person we are knowing what they have done, knowing how they have just impoverished the state by robbing from the coffers of the state what it belonged to the state, you know. And Akuffo those started say, oh, she said judge for, or packing people for judge for, you have go Supreme Court, you have go High Court, you have go Appeals Court, you have go, your friend is saying, Circuit Court. Circuit Court. It is an NDC by way, Upa, Momofa Seminko Court is here. Yaman 3 months. Omba Broscota send not to baby cry. And you know, the reset agenda, no, maybe they feel said the pivot now. And who here to reset a judiciary. Okay. And Sana me parliament in San Samuel Manomano. Yes, parliament or Sinto, baby. Executive or Sinto or no crowd affair was as into Sinto Yamai. But Sinto de a battery pound. But when no, and yet. But to say bia why mistake o one more bomutri mu post on be di bone on be your dream on be nyoma ensem fata sani pa no mo ye ekuo no mo eye o madwe so mo be di o man bone a that criminal syndicate no you must make sure say ekwa bia so no by any means necessary you o free o okay etidio we etire na de aka ya homa say matese say judicial secretary no say wan so yeah is it true? What? Why resign? Resign. Now, Papa, now reset agenda. No, you mean share kwanya a bit in your first one. You better reset. You are Ghana for any institution. You must send you be the list of court. You better me appear before court. No, we say. Obey justice. And you say, "What? Obi the me a court with."
Alright, Abusia, teachers winning sama ekoso our political hiring such as Chief Justice Torkono, Mahama de Sisia or da onda. Day in day out expose akasian ko na chese ekoso efa ne ho a ende eye esila Owusu ene Godfred Odamen so de omode ababebu ma chese yatitin so afaya NPP guru so chese opa omopo ekra omombo adija entinsi krom enye demonstration omoye den ya maame no kwana maame ne bekwa busua ensema ekoso highway ne so ne de na ano ede ne timidum besia na madam asesama je pene me kuti ensema ekoso our political highway so POG Media. Mermasi.